I currently make about 50K a month, and there's a couple weird habits that I've gained over the last 4 or 5 months of me building the business that I'm currently running. That has, without a shadow of a doubt, concluded into me making the money that I make now. Besides the work that I do, there's a couple like lifestyle tips that I think would help out someone that's in like the earlier stages on understanding how you can double the business besides having the skill, right? Putting in the time, the energy, whatever else that there needs to be put in. Um, there's definitely some tips that you can use that I think are going to help make your life a lot easier in order to hit, pretty high numbers, right? So let's get directly into it. It's just a list. This might be like an insane yapping video, but um, I think there's some really valuable tips in here. First things first, and I think that this is something that has helped me a ton, just to get out of like the mental drag of figuring out what to eat, and then also eating midday and slowing me down. Um, the best, and I mean the best, plan for meals is one meal a day. So only eat one meal a day. And me personally, I eat out basically every single day. So at the end of the day, after all the work's done, after I've kind of started winding down for the night, I hit a restaurant with my boys. We sit out like a steakhouse every single time, and I just eat steak and ribs. Like that's my main thing. I just eat steak and ribs, just straight carnivore as much as I possibly can. I might eat a bit of a salad and a sweet potato every time I go out, but like one meal a day at the end of the day, right? And then make sure that it's like high in protein throughout the day. I might be snacking, just to like help my cravings. So I get a little bit of pineapple. I do eat some like dates and stuff like that, but that's like the first tip that I'd give. Pray immediately whenever you wake up. So the moment I wake up in the morning, I started to realize that I would reach for my phone and then I'd have a ton of fires that I need to put out for the day. And I noticed that the best way to reset yourself and reset your mind, especially when you have so many things coming at you at once, you have, 10 plus employees on the team that you're managing at once, is to look towards God first. And then everything on earth can come second. So in the morning when I wake up, instead of reaching for my phone and seeing what I can do to start solving problems, literally like I'm like, yo, slow down. Let me close my eyes. Let me pray real quick, and then I'll get into it. So I sit. I literally sit up, on the side of my bed, like hang my legs over the bed, and then just say my prayer. Just whatever comes to mind, whatever helps me connect. I just say it, or not say it, but I think it, and then boom. The moment that my feet hits the ground, that's when I'm gonna go. So if there's anything I'd recommend, start praying at the beginning of the day. It just helps you ground yourself before you start, taking out fires and things of that nature. Let go of tracking everything. I had a period last year where, and it was from one of my mentors who I still love and respect. But it was like very high performance based, where like you track everything. You have like the Whoop band, you have the Aura ring, all that stuff. You're tracking your sleep, you're looking at your health, all those things. I think my biggest breakthrough and helping me detach from all like the pressure that I was putting on myself is just getting rid of those things, right? So I threw my Whoop band away. I used to wear an Aura ring on my pointer finger at all times, and like I low key just stopped charging it, and just recently I actually threw it away, just because it makes you too conscious of yourself, and I don't think that's really how we're meant to operate. I truly think that like your day by day should be based off of like doing whatever needs to be done, no matter how you feel. And there will be periods of times as an entrepreneur where like you're staying up until 3, 4 a.m. trying to solve problems. And then when you wake up the next morning, offer like 3, 4 hours of sleep, and you see the freaking Whoop or whatever it might be, it just discourages you and it can affect your mood. So I just found that it's best to stop tracking everything so meticulously, because quite honestly, like fuck how I feel. Like you should only really be worried about what you need to do for the day. Find one figure and embody the best of them. So there are a ton of amazing men throughout history that have made insane impacts. And it's very easy in this day and age to lose sight of what has been done, in terms of like just people that freaking conquered lands, right? War generals. The social media has dumbed down the human mind so much that like our dopamine these days just comes from scrolling. So by finding one person that was able to defy all odds and influence so many people, and basically taking the best of their work, and embodying the best that you can and implementing it into the identity that you are right now, has to be one of the greatest things that you can do. The figure that I personally chose was Malcolm X. I think Malcolm did amazing work. I think he was very truthful. He had a ton of integrity. Um, he was a strong man, strong-willed man, a dangerous man, someone that a lot of people feared. And I felt that I resonated with that figure the most. There's other people like Napoleon. There's other people like, Julius Caesar. People that just are able to influence the masses. They understand how to take over. They understand how to influence at a wide scale. I think an even better side tangent to this is living and associating around other people that inspire you. So, for example, very recently, I went on this freaking side quest where I had a sales position, and I moved to Colombia for a couple months, and I was in person, living in person with someone who's a great mentor of mine now, and a man that I respect a ton. And I took a lot of his habits that I have now implemented into my current self. One of the biggest things that I liked from him was his composure. Whenever stressful situations came up, he was like very uh, slow to react to it, and he was more so just thinking through logically how we could solve the problem, which I took away from that. And I think within myself now, I've become really good at that. I also live with another mentor of mine, really great best friend of mine now. And one of the best things that I found from him was that like he was able to think of things on the fly. So it came with sales, just being someone that knows intuitively that you will say the right thing and it'll come out sounding great is one of the best skills ever. And I've implemented it into what I do, and I think it's helped me a ton in recent times. Detach from money. It wasn't until I stopped caring about money that I started making it, and it's so weird. I really, it's really hard for me to explain. Um, it's really hard for me to explain how this happened because this business came out of nowhere. It was a side business. Like me making 50K a month now was not something that I intended on. It was something that I knew I could do, but it wasn't something that like I knew would happen so fast. The business has doubled every single month for the last 4 months. I don't know. You just need to detach from it and just focus on what is the highest revenue driving activity that I can do. For me, it was hiring more employees. You need to become very good at identifying what activities drive the most revenue, detached from really caring about the outcome too much. You don't want to get too caught up in like the numbers that you could make. I found that especially in my past 2-3 years of offer hopping in sales positions, um, I got very numb to, oh, we're gonna make $1 million in a month, or yo, first 100K month incoming. I'm like, yo, fuck that shit. Like, I just want to get down to work. Like, what do I need to do right now to make money? Because all the mental gooning over what's gonna happen, it's just a waste of time. You just need to do whatever the hell drives the result the most. Simple. Choose to value yourself more. Now, I think that this is one thing that a lot of people miss out on, and it's why I know a ton of people um, stay stuck working freaking jobs that they get paid $17 an hour with or $20 an hour with, where they don't know the potential that they have as a human. And I think it's all from just the choice of you making within yourself that like, hey, I'm worth more than this. I'm better than this, right? You need to think of it within yourself before the external catches up to you. So I remember when I was a janitor, um, bro, I'd be sitting there like washing walls and shit, and bro, I was so bad. I'm like, dude, I'm better than this. Like, I'm actually better than this. And it's why I couldn't keep a job for a very long time. It's just because like I'd be there and I'm like, dude, I'm wasting my time. I'd get very pissed at myself for being in a situation where I allowed someone to harp over me and being micromanaged and all these different things. Like I'm talking to all these other people around me and they're like, hey, I've been, working here for 10 years. And I'm like, yo, what the fuck? Like, how the hell can you work in the same place for 10 years, not realizing how much more there is for yourself? So um, it's all about the simple choice that you make of, hey, I'm better than this. I'm worth more than this. It just depends on how much you believe in it too. That creates the outcome faster than you would ever expect. Get angry. If there's any emotion out of all emotions, you seen like those spectrums where like people talk about love and endearment being like the top of the human pinnacle when it comes to feeling and vibration. Bro, fuck that shit. Genuinely, you need to get angry at your situation if you genuinely want to make a change for your life. So get mad. Like you should have so much anger. Any heinous crime, right? That happens in the world happens, and it's on such a big grand scale, and there's so much influence that comes from it, is because they get angry. And you got to think of it like when you flip that emotion towards the correct productive things, you become someone that is able to withstand the fire that's needed in order to get to wherever you want to be. Let's say you're angry at the world, right? And you want to commit suicide. And I know I'm getting a bit deep here, but you gotta track. I'm thinking at an extreme so you can track along with me, right? Let's say you start pointing the gun at yourself and you're like, damn, like I'm mad at my situation. I'm mad at the world. I'm mad at this life, whatever it may be. That's anger. There is a ton to be mad about in this world. There is a ton of negativity in this world. Um, And I think that we consume that a ton. I think the human mind attaches onto it, as we know. Like, you know, in news outlets, you're going to read the negative thing before you read the positive thing. But you need to take that negativity and generate it towards productive things that are going to change the world in a positive manner. So if you just harness all that anger, right? I used to be so mad about just the way that I grew up. You know, so mad about the single mother, you know, being in shelters, you know, the fact that like money never really came easy, you know, all those things. I used to get so mad about my situation and the fact that I didn't have that. Anger has helped me propel myself, when directed into the correct manner, has propelled myself into a better position for myself. So you got to use your anger in a productive manner. Listen to zero music in your car. So I'm not gonna lie. I mean, it's kind of like an in between for me. Sometimes if I'm feeling like jamming, like bro, turn on a little Gunna, a little Baby, bro. I'm going crazy. You feel me? A little Michael Jackson. Um, I definitely love music, but at the same time, you need to give yourself time to think. I think we have too much noise in this world. There's too many things happening all at once. There's so much to consume. You need to take time, especially during car rides, to think. And I don't know. There's something about being in the car and you're on your way somewhere, but like everything around you is moving, but you get to be still. That allows your brain to move so much faster. It's so weird. Like, for example, if I have a sales call and I'm sitting at my desk, my word tracks and the way that I flow are going to be totally different than if I'm in the car and I'm driving. Because everything's moving. My mind is like moving with the world, except I'm still, my body's still, so I can get comfortable in the movement. Does that make sense? I hope that fucking makes sense. So spending time in your car, just thinking, no music, no noise, just you, yourself, and your mind is a really good form of meditation. And yeah, I recommend it. On top of not listening to music in the car, in the gym during your workouts, listen to great speakers. So in the gym, I've low key cut out like all like the really bass heavy music, and I only listen to great speakers. So like the MLK, you know, JFK's, the Malcolm X's, goddamn Andrew Tate's, you know, just Obama, right? People that were able to influence the masses. And the reason why is because there are specific blips that you'll get from the words that they're saying that are going to propel you in your actual life when you're taking action and executing. So when you're in the gym, just getting that pump on and you're in between sets and you got to freaking wait for your muscles to recover so that you can go hard on the next one. Dude, I'm telling you right now, like you're going to hear some shit that like wakes you up. Or if not that, then they're saying words that are going to influence your subconscious to where you find yourself just actively like you just take action like on the stuff that they're talking about throughout your day. Kobe Bryant, he was speaking about his conversation with Michael Jackson at one point, and he was hearing about how Michael Jackson would read books, and one of the biggest books that Michael Jackson read was is it Og or Oj, whatever the hell his name is, his Greatest Salesman in the World book. And apparently that book is the thing that set the foundation for Michael Jackson to create Thriller and then go on his run and you know be one of the most influential people during his time. So I started reading The Greatest Salesman in the World recently, and wow, butterfly effect. Now I'm here making a freaking video. But somehow, some way, again, it was just all from me listening to greater speakers while during my workouts that has now made me a more productive person to where I'm making videos trying to influence more people on those things. So 100% would recommend while you're in the gym working out, feel free to listen to great speakers because they will influence your thinking. They'll influence your subconscious. They'll make you take actions that you never would have before. And yeah, really, really, really good tip. When you get caught into a loop, realize that instead of getting into emotion, you need to get into motion. So one of the common things that happen when it comes to self-development or building a business is you're gonna have periods where like you're like, what the hell is going on? You start losing your mind and you're trying to figure out what the next steps are. You might have, you know, people that are saying that they're gonna sue you. You know, people might actually, you know, send out lawsuits your way. You might have, you know, people that quit on you suddenly, right? Employees that backstab you and steal money from you. All those things, right? They're all going to happen, and you'll be put into a corner. And you need to realize that instead of pondering and cycling on those thoughts, the negative thoughts about like what you're going to do and turmoil and whatever else you might be feeling, you need to get into motion quickly. And a huge thing that I started doing was pacing. Um, so weird. I know, like I look like a fucking madman when I do it, but pacing has to be one of the best things that I've implemented into what I do on a daily basis that have helped me, right? I don't really, I can't, I don't want to leave the house to go on a walk because then it takes me away from my computer. I'm too far away from my computer. I got to walk all the way back home just to get back to work. But if I'm pacing outside, either on this dock or near my pool area, and I'm just going in circles. Like there was one night, I swear to you, dude, I was listening, I think it was like Minecraft music or whatever it was. I'll get into that in a second. I was listening to Minecraft music, just pacing around my pool from like 10 p.m. up until like 1 a.m. And I just kept on pacing up until like my legs hurt. So like I don't know, you need to get into motion whenever you're in a period where there's just a ton of pressure on you, and like you're finding it hard to know what your next step is, your next move is. um, and yeah, you gotta move. You gotta do some type of action. Now, speaking of Minecraft music, you need to be listening to Minecraft music while you're working. It is, I swear, 10 out of 10 experience in life. I come from a background where like I used to play video games all the time, right? Video games was like, dude, I pull all nighters playing freaking WWE, Fortnite with friends, whatever it might be. And as I've grown, of course, spending all of my time on video games definitely is not the most productive use of my time. I've come to find that working on an online business is basically the same thing, except it affects your real life, right? So instead of me playing GTA all day and trying to build up my bank account on there, I'm doing it in real life, which is a blessing. Like video games is all dopamine, whereas real life online business work, it hurts. But when you suddenly, like when you turn on Minecraft music, bro, I swear, bro, when you turn on Minecraft music, the pain just washes away. It's so weird. The pain washes away because you're like a kid again and you're just building. And it's like you hear like the little moos from the cows in the background, and it just like it just takes you back into like a trance of like, oh, I'm just playing a game, clicking clacking keyboards, and yeah, it just I don't know, your productivity just raises through the roof by listening to Minecraft music. So highly recommend. Just weird, like very weird tip that is not talked about at all. You need to be listening to Minecraft music while you're working. If you're not on a call, you're basically putting yourself in a position where you're not making money. If you're a salesperson and you're not on a call, then how the hell are you going to make commission? Sure, you get residuals if you have a type of recurring model for the company that you're in, but at the same time, you're not pushing the needle forward. You're not on calls pushing everything forward. So any moment spent where there is sunlight out, where I'm not on a call or I'm not talking to a bunch of people at once, is a disservice to my future self. Put pressure on yourself to make sure that you're on a call, whether it be with a prospect, cold calling, outreaching, sales calls, YouTube videos for content, whatever it might be. Just talk to people. Talk to people either on a one-on-one scale or to the masses. If not, then you are not putting yourself in a position to make more money. Simple. And the final thing that I'll put on this list, self-reflection. So I don't know why people don't do this on a daily basis. It's one of those things where like, how the hell are you going to catch yourself when you're going down the wrong course? Like how else are you going to make sure that you make the right choices the next day and repeat the correct habits that you need to in order to get to where you want to be if you're not reflecting on what you did during that day? So I know a ton of people just drift through their day, la di da di do. They go to sleep, they wake up, they repeat the same cycle. But the way that you get out of that cycle and make sure that you spiral yourself towards the correct motion is by reflecting on yourself on a daily basis. Um, I know for me, one of the biggest things that I was reflecting on myself on that I did not like was the fact that I was not creating content. I know that speaking to people en masse is the thing that creates influence beyond measure, way more than any sales call one on one or any business could do alone. So, content is the top notch king of getting yourself in front of people at a grander scale. And I was very mad at myself for months. Months it took me, I swear to you, months it took me to get into a position where now I can just pull out the camera and pick up the phone and just make a video. You need to be reflecting on yourself on a continual basis, so that you can catch the weaknesses and the gaps in your daily habits. And once you do that on a continual basis, you'll eventually have put into your subconscious enough to be like, okay, you know what? Fuck it. Like, just take action, bro. Because you get fed up enough. You get angry enough, right? You get angry. So, yeah, I recommend reflecting on yourself as much as you possibly can, and you will come to do the things that you know you should be doing when you get fed up enough. So I hope these were helpful for you. Take them as you will, and God bless you.